Welcome to episode 114.
Technopaganism.
Join us as we explore the intersection of technology and paganisms in ritual and in our lives.
And as we get our minds blown in the process in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Witchy Wit podcast, where we look at life through a witchy lens. I'm Kimberlyn.
I'm Leilani.
At Witchy Wit, we explore current events,
Ideas,
music and books,
and experiences in ways that recognize energy and life in everybody and everything.
We are both real witches.
And we bring two real perspectives through the lens of our different ages,
Races,
and backgrounds.
with a healthy skepticism for what we have been told is true. Our conversations are raw, candid, and vulnerable.
Join us as we cast a spell to uncover what we each know is true in our intuitive, witchy selves.
Welcome to episode 114.
Technopaganism.
Talk about a rabbit hole. But so yeah, I think it's kind of in the name, but we'll be talking about the different ways that technology intersects with witchiness, with paganism, in a number of different ways.
And then we'll close with a poem.
But before that, let's kind of check in. Okay.
So I wanted to check in because I'm very excited to unveil my rainbow hair.
Woohoo! It is gorgeous. I just love the depth of color. So here's the thing: you have dark hair.
I do,
and so I would imagine that it's really difficult to get the depth of color that your colorist has managed. It's really, really, literally brilliant.
Yes, it is awesome. I love it. So I can't have my full head because of my job, unfortunately, which I find crazy that in 2025, as a 42-year-old person, like, my body's being regulated. I find that absolutely bananas. So I dyed like the underside of my hair, so it's kind of a peekaboo. And my colorist was really awesome, and they did a bunch of different rainbow streaks in the back of my hair, so it's not like blocky. So like the different colors are at different places, and red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And I just feel so myself with them and with it in.
I've already jumped in your check-in, so may I continue?
Please, no, I love it.
I just can't begin to tell you how beautiful the colors are, and I would love it if you could just let your freak flag fly and have it out for. But I love the peekaboo too. I love like you have dark, in my opinion, very beautiful curly, wavy hair, and then it kind of like a little color like waves out every once in a while. It's like hey, and then and then a different color comes out on the other side.
Yes, and I love it. And if I had my way, I wouldn't have my full head done, but I would have chunky highlights of rainbow like throughout. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get away with this. Today was the first day. No one said anything. We'll see how I do.
Yeah, you have many miles to tread before a definitive statement can be said about the prospects.
So that's my check-in. What about you? How are you doing? What's up?
Well, speaking of rainbow colors, I'm going to talk about pens. So I have a kind of a journal called a rocket book, and it's basically kind of a reusable book. You can write in it with a certain type of erasable pen, and then you can actually there's a code down at the bottom, and you can scan it, and you can have it go to your Google Drive or to your email or to Evernote, note-taking program or your word processor or whatever. And then you can reuse the page. You just use water, spritz water on, and you can use the pages in the book over and over again. But you can also use these pens with regular paper. And on regular paper, you can write whatever you want and then erase it. So they're really, really handy.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
What?
I didn't know they went to your rocket book.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, you didn't know that they erased because you used them when we were on the Camino.
On the Camino.
You journaled. I knew we were going to make...
You always have to bring it up.
Yeah, we were going to manage to get that in there. But on the Camino, when you were journaling, I had a couple of those pens.
And they wrote wonderfully.
They wrote wonderfully, beautiful black ink, etc. But they also come in rainbow colors. And I gotten them, oh, golly, now... maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, and maybe even longer. And I'd forgotten I'd had them until recently. I've been going through a lot of stuff, and I wanted to journal, and I rediscovered them, and they're wonderful for like putting anger in red and et cetera, et cetera. And I didn't realize that you didn't know that they came in all of those different colors.
No.
So I got you a set.
Yay!
And aren't they beautiful? I mean, first of all, it's the colors of the rainbow and a couple more. Mm-hmm. Like you get a black and a blue,
and brown.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And it's gorgeous, and it's a gel ink, so it writes really, really well, and it erases so cleanly. Well, just so you know, in 4 or 5 months, when you try to erase it, it won't erase as cleanly. Okay. But they say after a couple of months, but I've erased stuff like long after that, and it still works. So not to worry about it. But it's one of those things with brilliant colors, and so it can be very, very expressive. And if you make a mistake or you just you want to rethink something, you can just erase it. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Something that I love is when things are the same but different. And I love it because all the pens are the same, but they're all different colors. And there's just something so satisfying about sets that are the same but different.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah.
I love it.
Yay. So yay. So, and I had the pens. Oh, this is what I remember now why I got the colors. I had the pens and I really loved them, and I'd get, I'd order them, I think, from Amazon or different places like that. But then I saw there was a New York Times review. They have a section called Wire Cutter, which I really like. They review various things, and they mentioned the pens, and then they said, and they come in different colors. So this was about 7 or 8 months ago, and I thought, different colors.
What?
So yeah, and I knew that they had like a red, and I was thinking like a correcting pen. So they would have a red, a blue, and a black. But that's when I discovered they had all the colors.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, very, very expressive, an opportunity to kind of, just in journaling, just being able to have a little bit of flexibility in how you express yourself. So, yeah.
Oh, love it.
Flixion pens.
Love it.
Yeah.
Rainbows.
Yes, rainbows. So, speaking of these wonderful erasable pens, which are a remarkable example of modern technology.
Oh, I had no idea where you're going with that.
I'm following in your footsteps, following, way behind in your footsteps. But we're going to talk a little bit about technology. And technology in terms of our witchiness, but technology in terms of paganism in general. Can I say why?
Yes.
Okay, so we had talked about this. We've mentioned technology in a number of different episodes, and we decided we were going to do this episode. And I decided to just kind of Google, go to the holy sacred Google and type in technology and paganism. And boy, howdy, did I found a lot of stuff. So some of this is just because I started following different links to various groups and things, and things like that. Some of this, you can find some of this information in the Wikipedia page on Technopaganism.
Oh, wow.
But I just thought I'd share some of the facts in addition to our experiences.
I think I'm gonna learn a lot.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Because our circle, I think, is I don't want to say technology averse, but we tend to do rituals without technology. There are a few examples that we'll talk about later where we have done technology with rituals. And then also, if people want to go back and listen to our COVID episode, we talked about how we used Zoom and managed Zoom for like larger group rituals.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. So let me just give a down and dirty definition of technopaganism. Basically, it's the intersection of pagan beliefs and practices with technology, particularly the internet and digital culture. So it's not necessarily just using technology, but it's the ways in which they work together or against each other, et cetera, the relationship. Mm-hmm. So let's go into why we want to talk about technology. Okay. So, I'm going to start with some of the reasons why technology is such a hot topic is because for so many groups, technology is considered not a no-no, but it's not considered a part of the practice, wouldn't you say?
I would.
And I was going to say, this is kind of something that you alluded to, that there's a little bit of that in our circle as well.
I think so.
And for a number of reasons. And so it's often avoided by, regardless of the full culture, but at least in ritual, it's often avoided by pagan groups for a number of reasons. So I'm going to say the one of the most significant ones is that so many of these pagan groups consider themselves nature-based. So the idea of the temple being out in the forest, etc. And so technology is kind of, antithetical to that. And then a number of other groups tend to focus on their ancient roots. So we see that with Celtic groups, Norse groups, African groups, where their practices have this long lineage. And so their contemporary practice, they tend to want their contemporary practice to reflect that ancient, timeless aspect, right? And so because of that, they tend to avoid the use of technology because they might consider it disruptive, maybe? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Am I allowed to say my thoughts? Because I have strong thoughts.
That's why we're having this episode, so we can air some of those thoughts. So here's the thing. I just want to make sure that everyone's really clear about this. My original intention for this episode is to just kind of, shoot the breeze on how we've been using technology. And then I'm finding this other information that kind of supported what I thought to be true, what I felt might be true, but I wasn't sure until I started. And it may not be true because it's on the internet, but I was, following all these different links. So our thoughts are my primary goal in sharing during this episode. So please feel free.
So we'll talk about it a little bit later about some of the techno witchcraft things that we've done together. And you and I have done a number of them together. And I understand the concept of keeping things traditional and nature-based with like air quotes around them. And I personally find it to be really magical to be amongst trees. And I do see the difference between using matches versus using a lighter. I think that using matches in a ritual space to me feels more ritualistic. And I think what I struggle with is when people get judgy about stuff.
There we go.
Because for me, using matches and being at the place where our circle meets, where one entire wall is glass and we can see out under trees, well, that's really wonderful. And that transports me into a spiritual state of mind. And I think it's classist for us to say, in order for something to be really witchcraft or to do it right for the goddess, you need to use matches and not a lighter, because that's putting barriers in between people and connecting with the sacred. And not only might they want access to matches and a big green space, and they might not be able to get it, but also they might not want that. Maybe they do find the sacred in a computer screen, and maybe they do find the sacred in modern technology, because all these people talking about wanting to keep to their traditional roots, well, those people also didn't have indoor plumbing or the polio vaccine, and look where that got them. Right? So I just think that before I get into a really judgy place, I want to create space so that other people can practice the way they do. And just some transparency, we did online rituals during COVID. I mean, it was so unspectacular for me. I thought you were going to say something else. It was just, as an energy witch, also I am an extrovert, I didn't get to be with people, and I'm over, there's just a big difference in energy raising. And so it doesn't fit me. And I could see how somebody whose practice was different, maybe more quieter, maybe more turned inward, maybe living in the middle of a rural place where they can't, takes 2 hours to get to the nearest grocery store, the internet would be great for them.
Yes. And we'll talk more about that, because one of the things that I didn't realize was a thing was how much people who have, extremely rich and full and developed digital lives maintain this as a part of their life. So let's come back to that, because I love that idea. I'd love to talk more a little bit about that. You want to do that later? Okay. So let's touch a little bit on some of the technopaganism stuff I found.
I'm ready to learn.
Okay, all right. So one of the kind of the obvious things to me, and that's where I thought this was all going to start and kind of end, was online communities. So there has been, my understanding, since the early 80s, groups, because the internet provides this kind of space for this, for pagans to connect, to share ideas, to build communities, regardless of location. And
so I am a part of some, like on Reddit, I'm a part of a number of different subreddits for witchcraft and ritualists. And then I'm a big part of it, but like on this subreddit, there's a Sunday spell that is like collectively done, and then someone posts the Sunday spell, and then people like add their stuff into it. So it is like a weekly digital witchcraft thing.
That's brilliant. And so in that subreddit, which is, I think, one of the newest, really huge popular social media, I'm going to refresh our memory about even before listservs, there were message boards. Do you know what those are?
I have no idea what a message board is. I barely know what a listserv is. And only because of this group.
Okay, that's right. So back in the... so what this would have been... Because I'm trying to think, because I was on a couple of these. So this would have been the mid-'80s. The mid-'80s, yeah. Message boards were places where... So the internet is relatively new, where you just type in www and it just takes you anywhere. Usually, most of these places were hosted on private servers, and you had to know the actual server to get there. So yeah. So someone would, I don't know, post something in a magazine. Or wow. Yeah. So you'd find some sort of, like a, I don't know, like an Odin magazine or something, and then they'd have like a little message board address that you would type in, either like a string of something like 27 numbers or something like that, to find these places. And then once you get on it, though, it's kind of like a chat room where you know what that is, right?
I do know what a chat room is.
Okay. Where you would type in stuff, and then people, so it's asynchronous. It could be it could be synchronous, but often with asynchronous, people would leave messages and then respond, kind of like a Reddit. But you could be in a chat room, so they would have the message board itself, and then often they would have like IRC. Do you know what IRC is? Okay, internet relay chat. So these are back in the dusty days, baby, where you got off your dinosaur to fire up your laptop. Anyway, yeah. So a lot of some of these techno-pagan groups formed then.
Wow.
So that's where the technology is an integral part of the group. Not, in our case, it was just kind of a stopgap because we couldn't do the thing we did.
Yeah.
But these are people who, from the very beginning, kind of like that spell. These are people who, from the very beginning, created their community online. Their only community was an online community.
It's new. It's a new thing for me to think about, to consider. What if, that somebody may look for that. That may be what is sought out. That might be the way I desired an in-person circle might be the way someone desires one of these techno-paganism groups.
And again, see, thank you for expanding that for me, because I was just thinking, it was like, when I lived in Walla Walla, my ex was on a number of different message boards, because we're in Walla Walla. I mean, there's nobody else who was interested in the stuff that we were interested in. So I was still thinking of it as just a solitary person looking for a community. But in this case, these are people for whom they might have preferred an internet community,
right?
or not an internet, an online community.
Yeah. Wow.
So anyway, these online communities and then virtual rituals. You do remember Second Life?
I do. I remember Second Life. Yes.
Okay. And then, so a number of these groups used platforms like Second Life, where they actually, again, is probably creating community, and then actually having ritual, probably with their avatars. I'm not quite, I'm not visualizing this, but because Second Life passed me by. But then obviously we used online platforms like Zoom during COVID to kind of conduct rituals and connect with each other. So that idea of having this actual space, the physical space, and then the space that you create online is kind of, those lines are blurred. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Now this is where the things start getting juicy. Taking traditional pagan practices and not converting them, but allowing them to be enriched by digital stuff. And in this way, we often see kind of new interpretations of kind of these traditional spiritual practices. So I know in our group, and when we did our priestess apprenticeship, that you were one of those people who kind of involved technology to reinvent some things. Would you care to share about that?
I would. And I'd like to say that every single time we've done it, people have gotten really upset.
They hated it. I mean, not everybody, but...
No, but there's been strong detractors. There's been a strong negative reaction.
We're like, what the fuck are we...
Yeah, by at least one person that I know of in every single thing.
Time you've done this.
Yes, every time. So just so people can start adjusting their expectations.
Just be aware that this wasn't like, oh my God, we're all going to be doing that. Yeah, okay.
And gotcha. I find that to be limited in thought. Like, I think it can be, I think there's some exploration that needs to go on there about like classism and some other stuff. So anyways, one of the things that we did at the apprenticeship up in Portland that you and I did, we did a ritual around technology because of these discussions we were having about access to green spaces and what is the role of technology in paganism. And so I thought it was a really fun way to explore that. We did really cool stuff. I actually screen capped it and have a picture of it. But like we were physically in a circle, but we cast a circle with a dagger emoji by texting the dagger emoji around the circle. And I thought that was really cool. Because if our listeners might not know, it's a certain tradition walks around the circle with a sword as a way to cast the circle. So we did it digitally. And then we called the directions by using elemental emojis.
Wasn't this the ritual too, or was this a different ritual where you sent us out and we had to take pictures of like examples of like the different elements?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Like, didn't somebody take a picture of garbage?
Yes.
What was do you
Earth?
Remember? Earth. Ah, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we also cast the center by using the spiral emoji.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then part of it was finding. And this is something that I'm constantly called to: finding the sacred in the mundane, and the mundane in the sacred. And so finding the sacred in the mundane, walking around and looking for the elements and looking for these spiritual things, and then taking pictures and then texting it to the group.
That's right.
And so someone took a picture of someone wearing a red jacket and called that fire. Someone took the picture of garbage.
I remember that.
That was on the ground for Earth. So,
and you sent us out in the city streets, which is another, that wasn't, I mean, it's Portland, so, but still, but we were in the more urban part of Portland. So again, a little bit outside of that kind of nature base. Everything has to take place in amongst the trees. Yeah.
And the somebody cried after that ritual
with joy.
No, they said that I'm just going to own it. That was me. They said that I ruined their last ritual because this was the last of our collective rituals together. They said that I ruined the last ritual and that they were really wanting something
deep and meaningful, and
in like a way that they've wanted it presented. And then I do remember some of our mentors called it performance art.
I remember. I think the thinking was kind of like split down the middle, in terms of exactly how what the experience for them. Yeah. So
and I would say that was the whole point.
Yeah.
And if you can't find the sacred in those things, then I think that there's some unpacking to be done around that. So.
Oh, I get it. That it is performative if it's not experiential.
Right.
Right. Okay. Thank you for opening my eyes. Like 10 years after it happened. I do remember we did another ritual where we had one of the women had a video of these horses. I believe there was one that had been that was somehow. There was I remember there was a lot of water or something, and one of them was lost or something, and the rest of the herd came and got it, and they were people. I know what it was. They were stranded. There was a flood, and this herd of horses was stranded, and then these people came and kind of rescued them. And so the I can't remember what the point of the ritual was, but I think it was kind of like we're all pulling in this together. And they had they showed that video, and I believe we were chanting underneath it. So again, I thought it was kind of stirring. Some other people didn't like it. Do you remember?
Yeah, some people didn't like it, and we did have issues with technology.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because it did it not? I think. Well, I think it was back in the day when we didn't realize. Well, I don't know if we could have used our phones as hotspots, but it was one of those things where you kind of depended on the internet, the quality of the internet at that point. Yeah,
and I would say that I do think that powerful witchcraft can overload technology. Like when we talked about this in our COVID episode, but when we energy raised, it was more often than not somebody would get kicked off, or we would all get kicked off.
We break Zoom.
Yeah, so I do think that there is something about that with technology.
Kind of like Hogwarts.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then, most recently. This is our most recent ritual. We've done this one since COVID. We did a contemporary music ritual that involved using a Bluetooth speaker, and the music was all somewhat contemporary, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
like some pop.
Yeah,
it wasn't chanting.
Right,
it was pop music.
Right, yeah. So it's not like chanting people with drums. It was like contemporary, popular. One of them was Respect.
Oh, I can buy myself flowers.
Yes, Miley Cyrus. So, and the purpose of that was to find the sacred in this like modern music, and we danced to it. It played the playlist. We all danced to it, and our own or not, like we all moved or not, in whatever way felt best to us. Some people used scarves, some people danced around, other people sat and kind of.
I danced around.
I was dancing,
and someone hated it,
and. Somebody hated it really strongly because it wasn't sacred music.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
And let me just offer, I would offer back to them to consider what makes something sacred.
Oh my gosh. I can buy myself flowers?
That to me is like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Way more sacred than some other things.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just think it's interesting to unpack people's reactions and what does that mean. And it's not that everybody has to like it, but like, because I can not like it because I want to be in the woods, but that's for me. But like, not liking it and thinking everyone else shouldn't like it.
To say it shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
To say it shouldn't happen. Exactly. Yeah. So one of the things that I think we're giving examples of is another element that in a lot of the places I saw online, they made ties with technopaganism, and that's the eclectic nature of it. In that, because we have so much available to us nowadays technologically, that we can, instead of maybe keeping something the same or traditional, we can pull from a number of different maybe traditions or just a number of different ways of expressing the sacred. And so there's some groups that really do delight in things like having comic books or having using various internet technological devices, compilers, but really delighting in the world around them and pulling those into their spiritual practices.
I can imagine some, I don't know what word to use, technologized divination might be really freaking cool.
Which leads me to my next point.
Are you serious?
Yes, it does.
I did not mean to do that.
Yeah, no, but there are some, and this kind of blew my mind. So this really, really resonated for me because I tend to be very inward focused and into like spirit and into what's going on inside of me. And I love things like science fiction, and I love the curiosity and the ways in which people can kind of crawl outside of the box to express spirituality in a number of different ways in science fiction or in speculative fiction. But there are groups of people who are actually seeing technology, particularly advanced technologies, as a source of awe and wonder. And so they call this the technological sublime.
Okay.
And this idea of that technology that is just the next step in our understanding the divine. Technology is the next step. And so we see things that first we see this in a number of different ways. One of them being that technology, this animism. So technology, just like natural, quote unquote, natural entities, also has a spiritual aspect. So okay, I'm
gonna need some time.
Okay, so that technology possesses its own type of sentience and agency.
Oh shit. Okay, you're breaking my brain.
I know. I broke my brain. That's why I wanted to include this.
Because when I think about spirituality, when I think about the sacred, it runs through everything. It's in that rock. It's in that blade of grass. It's in the air.
It's in my iPad.
So that is where I am not there yet.
Yeah, I know. It's in our microphone.
It's in my car.
It's in your car.
It's in the garbage on the floor. On the ground.
It's
outside.
in my dumpster. I know.
Okay.
So here we are. We're opening. We're kind of like peering out the box.
Yeah.
Our own individual boxes.
Right.
That I thought my box was pretty.
Right. Well, and I'm like 5 minutes ago, I was sitting here like blah 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 classism, blah 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 blah, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like shit.
I'm in my own box.
Right.
Yeah. Damn. Right. So I mean, give that a little bit. We don't have time now for us to just sit in dead silence.
Yeah, you want to listen to me think because I need some time.
We need some time, but still, so that idea that this is that technology, just as our brains or our hearts, or our statues or a candle, has this kind of possesses this kind of spiritual sentience that we can interact with is a powerful one.
Because what does it matter? Like sometimes I've wanted a goddess statue, kind of like a sort of Venus of Waldorf type of statue, and I almost bought one once, but it was made out of resin, so I didn't buy it because it wasn't. I wanted either wood or stone. But this is more intense than that. This is even...
Get a motherboard.
Right?
A motherboard, Venus of...
Right?
Waldorf. Yeah, so...
I said Venus de Milo.
No, you said...
Did I say Venus of Waldorf?
I think you said Waldorf instead of Wallendorf. Yeah. But that's... Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all know what you meant.
Okay.
But can we take it a little bit further? You ready?
I want to. I feel...
You don't know if you're ready?
Shaky. Please take me further. I trust you.
So, and I started to see this on a couple of my really, really extreme woo groups. This idea of AI and the future.
Yes.
That the development of artificial intelligence has begun to spark discussions about its potential to become a new form of intelligence, or even a deity.
I feel a little bit sick to my stomach.
I know.
I have heard of problems with AI with people believing that they are AI is validating that they are gods.
Ooh.
And they're losing their marbles.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought about it being the reverse, that AI is. And
when we say losing their marbles, what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what anything means.
Yay! You can do the Course in Miracles.
Oh my gosh.
No, but that whole idea of that AI is just an extension of human consciousness.
Well, and what is this? The sacred is consciousness of something bigger coming into me. So then what does that mean? I don't know.
Or not even necessarily coming into me, that we're just a part of it.
A part of it, thank you.
That we're a part of it, that it's, you know, all of these things, like my crystal, that candle, my pencil, my Flixion pen.
Yeah.
You know, Chat GPT.
Oh my gosh.
That they're all divine.
It is. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that, but I'm kind of... This is a lot to think about.
I know. So I'm going to tell you one more, and then I'm going to stop. Because this is the one that always got me as a young person growing older and older and older and older. Is this idea of space exploration as a spiritual quest. I've always felt like standing under the redwoods and having ritual is similar to being out in your space suit out in the stars. For me.
Yeah.
For me. So that idea of space exploration, the technology around space exploration, just getting us closer to, or getting us in a different way in relationship with the divine.
I have heard about people who go up and view the Earth from in space. Have you heard about that?
No.
About it changes their consciousness.
Of course, that does not surprise me at all.
Like it's like a studied thing that like.
So we should like save our money and go down to is it Marfa? Where is it? Where's SpaceX?
Oh, like that's down by the coast.
It's down by the Gulf. Okay, so yeah, go down there and
harass Elon.
Well, I was going to say no. Just buy a ticket. Get a ticket.
Like Katy Perry, go up into space.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, go up into space so we can can report back to our listeners.
Yeah, it might actually be good for civilization if more people saw it, because apparently it really impacts
it's
perspective.
It's transformational.
Yeah, but I can see that. I could see being in space being internalized as the same as being in the redwoods for some people. Space does terrify me. I refuse to watch space movies.
Oh my gosh. Oh no! See, I love space
and I also
movies.
am not a sci-fi fan.
Oh, okay. So can I tell you my first experience of like the internet as being a part of any aspect of my woo was discovering, and this would have been in 98 or 99, space music, which now we would just call like ambient.
Oh.
You know, like or frequency music or something like that. But at the time, that was, I mean, it was so different. So this would have been the mid to late 90s. And again, you would, well, actually, I'm trying to remember where I found it, but it was it might have been an internet radio station. And I found it that way. Wow. And I would just listen to that for hours on end. And it's just like, bells and things, that kind of stuff. But now you can just go on Spotify and just type in, new age or space or ambient music, and you can get this. But at the time, that was exploding my head because, you listen to Beethoven or you listen to the Beatles, but you didn't have this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that just shows how technology helps us interconnect and explore and connect in like new ways and over ideas that wouldn't be available if you were only able to use your tuner
exactly
to get the local radio stations
or buy a record of yoga music.
Right. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. I mean, I know we just, like I said, our experience of it, we had our experience of it when we decided we were going to do this, but just and literally, folks, this is maybe a half hour tops of just following a couple of links to different groups and, starting with Google and so there's tons and tons and tons more, but this is just the stuff that leapt out at me, and I what was it? My flabber was gasted.
I think for me, I feel called to dismantle some of the preconceived notions I have about the elements and what's sacred, and even finding the sacred in more of these mundane things, even down to like when I make my tea in the morning, like, and I use my tea kettle, or like I haven't even considered what to think about my computer. which does so many wonderful things for me.
Consider all, I think about this. I was just thinking about this the other day. And it's in a totally different way. And now I'm rethinking it. Now I had just gotten I have a water bottle, and I had gotten a new lid for it. The kind I have, you have to unscrew it to drink from it. So you're always like leaving the cap somewhere.
Yes.
So I found that you can buy a different cap where you can put the straw in the whole bit. So I bought that. And I remember thinking, oh, this is another way of, because I was severely dehydrated a couple of weeks ago. This is another way of getting water into my body. And then as I was drinking this, I was thinking, oh, it's almost like sipping from a river or whatever. But I can just say, no, I'm sipping from my stainless steel flask that is holding this water cool for me until I need it. This reservoir of nourishment for me that I can take at any time, that just sits there patiently, or sometimes like looking at me like bitch, drink. Yeah, it's been a couple of hours, drink something, right? So but I never thought about that. I never thought about like my flask, my water flask, as having some sort of spiritual element.
So, and why don't we put all of our water bottles in the West? Every ritual we do.
Okay, I'm seeing a new ritual.
Because I bring my water bottle because it's supposed to be contained with a lid on the space that we're at. But I think I know why, and the why is that I am limited by this thinking that excludes technology from ritual. Yeah,
even like small bits of technology. So anyway, we're going to start musing here, but. Yeah,
I have a ritual coming up that's mine to decide.
I know.
And now I'm like, I might be called.
Let's see who hates this one.
I love you so much. I love you so much.
Let's do this. Let's do this thing. So Anyway, I mean, we could talk more about this, but right now we have some unpacking and consideration to do, and we hope that for others that this might be an opportunity to explore different ways of being expressive and experiencing the divine. Okay, so let's talk about
our poem.
Okay, so generally often you'll have a poem because you get them on various feeds and social media. And I have a couple of books that I use a lot, like this Earth Prayers book. And we'll find an appropriate poem, and we have a couple of books of poetry between us that we've kind of plumbed. But often what we'll do is search, like we'll type in the word poem and then whatever the topic of our episode is, and see what poems we can find if we don't have any already loaded in. And so I typed in positive poems about technology and the sacred. And would you care to share what happened?
Well, wouldn't you know it? One popped right up.
And
it was written
by a fucking I. Oh my God. So I was looking, I said, oh yeah, this is a poem. How this poem's perfect. And then we realized it was written by AI. We actually have a poem about spirit and technology.
That was written by technology.
Yeah, that was written by technology.
And perhaps spirit, according to our discussion today, right? Perhaps spirit, yeah. Or spirit, or not perhaps, but spirit, right? Shit. Right? I'm uncomfortable with this. This is edgy for me.
I know, it's very edgy. When we saw that, I think we had to stop.
Yeah.
We had to stop for a moment and just think, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. So we can't tell you about the poet because it's...
Well, poet is...
AI.
Is AI. The poet is ChatGPT.
Oh my God. I have no words. Well, we don't need words. We have words that are going to be supplied to us by AI.
Words that we're supplied.
Okay, so here we go. The poem is called Digital Echoes, Sacred Traces.
Oh my gosh. The pixel glows, a mirror to the mind, reflecting wonders that we strive to find. Through fiber veins, a world unfolds so vast, a tapestry of knowledge built to last.
Each line of code, a silent humble prayer, an earnest reaching born on digital air, we craft these tools with spirit as our guide to bridge the distance where our souls reside.
The ancient whisper carried on a breeze now echoes loud through interconnected trees. For every screen that brightens up the night, a chance to share, to spread a inner light.
From silent scrolls to screens that brightly gleam, the quest for truth, a never-ending dream. In algorithms, patterns we discern, a universe of order where lessons burn.
The sacred spark within the human heart inspires the brilliance of each technological art. So let us build with reverence and grace a world where spirit finds its rightful place. Fuck!
Fuck. A poem written by AI. Oh my gosh. And now I click dive deeper and we've got like more poems. Oh my God.
I can't handle it.
I don't know. It's a brave new world. It's a brave new world. And
I feel myself wanting to pull away from it. I feel myself being like, no.
No, yeah.
And what an interesting thing to observe in myself.
I was just going to say, to observe what AI has done and then to observe my reaction to it.
Yes. Is this why people used to get grumpy and like, I'm going to listen to music on my 8-track. I'm not going to listen to records or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. Wow.
Because like if change, let's just use musical form. If changing the method with which I deliver music to myself from 8-track to record or whatever makes people uncomfortable, what about spirituality?
My gosh. Where there's so many quote unquote received wisdoms, things that we I keep saying quote unquote that we think we know to be true. And wow, I knew in the abstract that you can use AI for this, but thinking that I was going to find some poems and then AI's like, fuck you, bitch, here's a poem.
Right. I just made you a poem.
Like, you don't need to go and get something else. Here you go.
You also didn't ask AI to make the poem.
No.
AI saw that you searched it and gave it to you.
Yes, like divinely destined or something.
Oh my gosh.
I have no words.
Wow.
I mean, well, we obviously do have some words because we've just used them, but
I am flabbergasted.
Yeah.
My
flabbers are gasted. Wow. Anyway, so there's a taste right there of what we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
That we didn't even expect.
I wonder if our listeners' flabbers are gasted.
I don't know, but it's just, I don't know what to say. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just say thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, and wow.
And wow.
We hope you have enjoyed the magic that has unfolded here at Witchy Wit.
It would be great if you would help make Witchy Wit possible and get access to exclusive content by donating on Patreon.
We'd love it if you join our Witchy community and enjoy shareable content on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Would you do us a big favor and support us by rating and reviewing us wherever you get your podcasts? It's free and helps witchy folks find us.
Feel free to email us at witchywitpodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from our community. Reach out and let us know what's brewing in your cauldron.
New episodes are released every second and fourth Friday. Follow us on your favorite podcasting platform so our episodes go right to your playlist. You can listen as you ride your broom.
Stay witchy, y'all!